We're tearing down the Hyatt Hotel, and we're building a 2.8 million square foot building and have an anchor tenant already that is committing to that for 2031, 32 also.
Who?
I can't tell you.
Oh, you can't tell me?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not public yet. But my point is, people believe in New York enough. It's a $7 billion project, right? We're financing a $7 billion project. So you don't get that if people don't believe in the future of New York, right? So you got to have a little bit of a longer lens. But I do think, Bill raised it before, and it's just worth noting, which is what's driving Mamdani's success and is the same thing that drove Donald Trump's success, is that we have this disenfranchised part of our economy, of particularly young people who feel like they're not having the same economic opportunity that they thought they'd have, can't afford to rent and live the lifestyle they want to live, and they're frustrated with big business, they're frustrated with government, they're frustrated with the way that things used to be done, and they want an answer. And both the president and now the mayor-elect gave them simple answers, which frankly neither are really executable in the way they are, because it's a complex problem, right? It's hard to build enough housing to bring down the affordability of housing, right? We need to retrain people for what the jobs are that are out there. In the construction industry, we have a 500,000 gap number of people that we need to fill that we don't have people for right now. So that takes time.
Well, here's a great example. So in the last 6 months, the city council and the mayor have passed major rezonings of Jamaica, Long Island City, the Brooklyn waterfront, and Midtown South. So thousands and thousands of units can potentially be built. Just yesterday, they passed the Long Island City one, where Amazon was supposed to go. So it's about 14,000. But the laws that were passed a couple of years ago changed the tax incentives. It was called 421A, that you could build 25% affordable, and then the rest could be market rate, and you got a very generous tax abatement, because that's the economics, call for that. They changed the tax abatement to, it's called now 485X, and nobody's building under it, except if you're 100 units or less, you don't have to fulfill the wage requirements for the construction jobs. And nobody above 100 is building it because the cost is too much. So there has to be a moment where the governor, the mayor, city council, business community, labor have to come together and figure out a way to take advantage of these. The mayor doesn't have to work on the zoning, it's done for him. But in order to get those projects developed, the incentives have to be changed to go to a structure where the project's penciled.
Is that a realistic expectation?
If they want the housing, we need the housing.
Listen, if you look at what happened in the New Jersey election, in the Virginia election, right? Affordability, affordability, affordability. That's the issue. And the only way you get affordability of housing is build more housing. And I think what we have to try to help educate policymakers is, you can't have the everything bagel syndrome, where we want everything to be all union labor. We want all this to be, environmentally totally sustainable. We want there to be all affordable units. You can't build anything, right? And housing
unless the government totally subsidizes the project.
Right, and housing itself has got to be the
Yeah, but we
challenge.
just elected a socialist who believes in all of those things.
I'm hearing you, but you got to
nothing will get built.
Right, then someone's going to say we're going to have to vote him out of office, right? Because the reality is, if you look, the Minneapolis Fed did this study. They said that building market rate housing creates affordable housing. Actually, the number was, if you do, for every 100 units you build, the market rate housing creates 70 units of affordable housing. Why? Because people move up. When you build a new home, someone moves into that new home, creates that affordable home. That is what we need to do, is just build as much housing, of every type of housing we can, as anywhere possible, and that will deal with affordability.
There are 40,000, somewhere between 40 and 50,000 apartments that are sitting vacant now in New York City, because again, they changed the law that 2019 that did not
That was
allow,
a state law, right? You basically can't get paid for making the upgrades.
You can't. The apartments need to have their lead removed. You need new wiring. You need new kitchens, new bathrooms. These are 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old apartments that people have lived in their whole lives, and they come back, and they're under rent stabilization, and nobody is making those investments. You could turn on, within 6 months, you can get those apartments back on the market by changing the economics to allow owners to put money back into their apartments.